So the iPhone event for 2025 has now finished, and we have a new Pro iPhone simply called iPhone 17 Pro. We're going to be taking a look at it now without simply repeating Apple's marketing catchphrases. I'm going to cut through the marketing fog and give it to you straight, so let's get into it. First up, it's back to aluminium. And that is so funny because after 2 years of telling me how amazing titanium is for phones, they just go ahead and drop it. And yes, I'll keep saying that titanium is a plus for phones because, like it or not, titanium is significantly harder than aluminium, meaning that titanium phones will scratch less than aluminium ones. I remember the days of aluminium as if it was only 2 years ago, and they scratched a lot even if you kept them in a case. So I wonder if they kept saying how the iPhone Air is their most durable iPhone because they know they've made the Pros worse this year. The use of titanium in the 15 and 16 Pro was amazing because the titanium was only used where it mattered, on the edges. The internal structure was still aluminium. So sorry, I don't buy the argument that it needed to be aluminium for better heat dissipation ability.
The titanium encases a new aluminum substructure that is bonded using solid-state diffusion. This is an industry-first innovation, using a new thermomechanical process that joins these two metals with incredible high strength. Using aluminum on the inside creates synergistic properties with the titanium enclosure, helping with thermal dissipation and further weight reduction.
Look, the heat pipe goes from the CPU to the middle of the phone and dumps heat there. So the side rails have nothing to do with it at all. I'm afraid this was just the cheapest way to achieve the new design, and that's the reason Pros are aluminium now. But I do want to talk about the new camera bump, which goes all the way across the phone now. Now, in a sense, this is a good choice as it does not have any practical effect on the handling of the phone over the old half bump. Yet, it gives the designers a lot more internal volume to work with. The issue I have is this, and this is less important here than on the Air, but they still have the actual camera lenses sticking out. Now, if you wanted to create maximum internal volume, why not raise the bump to the level of the lenses and get more room for cooling and all that? This would similarly have no practical effect on the handling of the phone. I do have to give credit for the colors this year, even though I am outraged that they don't have a black. A flagship that does not come in black is unethical in 2025. Having said that, the new orange and blue are bright and vibrant and actually very good looking, if you are into colors in your iPhone, that is. For me, the lack of black is very disappointing. The silver might have sufficed, but then there's this huge white square on the back that makes the thing look mismatched. It's the most mismatched looking color of all the three. Which, by the way, they go to great lengths to state is not glass. So, are you saying this is ceramic? Okay, I'll take your word for it, and yes, ceramic is very hard to scratch. But what happens when you drop ceramic? The Pros also have the new anti-reflective coating, which I'm not going to give Apple any credit for because at this price point, it's expected. There are 3 48 megapixel cameras on the back, and all 3 of them are fusion cameras. Now, fusion camera is Apple's way of making you think that one camera can be 2 cameras if you just crop into the image. Something that anyone who knows anything about photography knows is blatantly false. Every time you use a crop mode on each camera, you throw away pixels and all of the light they gathered, reducing the quality. However, Apple does do some amazing things with its processing, so we have to wait and see, but to call this optical zoom quality feels like they're stretching the truth a bit. Guys, listen, I have to say, I've noticed Apple is relying more and more on marketing catchwords than they used to. They never did it to this extent before, and it's worrying because to me it's a sign of a company either one, getting really desperate that they're falling behind and trying to make up for it by making wild claims and saying things like optical quality instead of what we want, which is optical zoom, and making those things seem equivalent when they're obviously not. If you're honest and you want to refer to optical zoom, you'll realize that the iPhone 17 Pro actually has a lower zoom than the old 16 Pro. The 16 Pro had a 5x optical zoom lens, while the 17 Pro has a 4x lens. The other 2 cameras are essentially what you have in the base iPhone 17, which is a 48 megapixel ultra-wide and a 48 megapixel main cameras. What is important when predicting what a camera's output is going to look like is sensor size. So obviously Apple doesn't say the sizes of the sensors. Instead, they give the largely irrelevant pixel size, as if that means anything to light gathering ability. However, since all cameras have the same 48 megapixels, we can infer the sensor size from the pixel size. Only the main camera has a truly large sensor. The other 2 remain small by comparison, being about half the size. So as far as cameras go, not a lot has really changed over the 16 Pro. You're still going to get the best photos with the main camera, which is actually quite good. but much worse photos from the ultra-wide and telephoto, and way worse photos when you crop in using the Fusion camera. There are no doubt going to be tons of comparisons between these cameras and those on the 16 Pro. In fact, I'll be making one as well. My prediction is the upgrade is going to be so small, it's not going to be noticeable for most people. The real upgrade I think most people are going to notice is with a selfie camera. This year, it's an 18 megapixel selfie camera with center stage. The good news is that it is twice the size of the sensor that came before, and it is square. Now, does this mean square Instagram is going to make a comeback? Well, not quite, because it's not using all of the sensor at the same time, or at least not in any of the modes shown in the keynote. And of course, as with the main camera, anytime you're not using the whole sensor, you are throwing away pixels and the light that fell onto those pixels. However, center stage for photos is a great way to throw pixels away. It's basically auto framing, and this will make a lot more good photos at 18 megapixels. Also, if you have to throw pixels away, you might as well implement super electronic image stabilization. Just remember, one thing has not changed at all. You are going to need a lot of light to get good photos out of this. Now, I want to address ProRes RAW because a lot of reviews are making a big deal about this, but does it give you better quality? Yes, definitely gives you better quality. Is anyone going to actually use it? I don't think so. Because unless you're trying to prove a point, like Apple's with its shot on iPhone events, anyone spending thousands of dollars on the lighting that you need to make this phone video viable is going to be able to buy a proper camera. It's as simple as that. Finally, base storage on the iPhone 17 Pro is now 256 gigabytes, and the price is the same as the 256 gigabyte from last year, so that's $1099. So thanks Apple for not applying inflation to your prices. I guess you saw the sense in not jacking prices up, at least, so thanks for that. Then again, storage is so cheap, maybe you just found a good way to increase the price while seeing you kept the same price. I mean, last year you could have got an iPhone 16 Pro for $999, and now I can't. So that's something to think about. Hey, if you like this kind of analysis, I've already done one for the iPhone Air and another one for the plain iPhone 17, so check those out as well. Also on launch day, I'm going to be getting an iPhone 17 Pro and an Air, and I'm going to be doing my unboxing videos, and you don't want to miss that, so please like and subscribe below. See you again soon. Bye for now.